Welcome back, guys. I thought I'd put together just one more video regarding you beginners to mixing e-liquid. This video is going to consist of information pertaining to getting your foot in the door in regards to mixing. And it may contain some information that helps or encourages you current advanced mixers. Now first, I do want to add, we all know the current situation in the US regarding the FDA, big tobacco, pharma versus vaping. We've been heavily under fire and, quite frankly, falsely demonized for our choice to lead a healthier life. Now, I've wrestled back and forth with how much time and energy to commit to helping people move from the average vapor to mixer slash DIYer. And this, of course, stems from the unknown of what exactly is going to happen going forward with the pending regulations. But might I add this little tidbit? As long as these devices are manufactured anywhere in the world, concentrates are available, PG and VG are not outlawed, and nicotine in one form or the other, whether it be labeled insecticide or not, we'll actually get into that in another video, hopefully. As long as these things are obtainable, I feel that my stance, as well as your stance, everyone's stance should be holding two middle fingers up to everyone that is trying to kill vaping. Now, I don't mean that literally. Don't go around flicking off politicians and people that you see in suits. That would just be really, really mean. But I mean figuratively. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by passing on information that we possess in hopes that it will grow and help the next person in need. And that is actually the whole point of this channel. It may very well come to a day where we're all in a prohibition type era in regards to vaping. And I believe, this is just me personally, but I believe wholeheartedly, if it comes to that, the more people prepared, the better. So I plead with you to not take that in a negative light. After all, we all remember hopefully we do, we all remember the historical alcohol prohibition and how that played out in the end. Alright, so first things first, let's go over supplies. So what I'm going to recommend to you here is pretty much basic. This isn't going to cover you as an e-liquid manufacturer, so if you're watching this trying to become a manufacturer post-regs, not going to happen. There's a way longer list I would suggest for a potential vendor, which I would cover in a video if it wasn't for the pending regulations, of course. But this list will simply prepare you to mix your own personal e-liquid, maybe for some of your friends. Just keep in mind this list is for the bare necessities. This is what I recommend if you're just starting out. So I recommend everyone have the minimum safety equipment of gloves, latex or nitrile gloves. That's important because nicotine can't permeate or soak through those kind of gloves. An apron or some sort of a splash guard. We've all knocked things over. Don't act like you won't. Everyone knocks stuff over. We're just clumsy. We're clumsy humans. On the off chance that bottle of nicotine topples over, it's a good idea to be covered, literally. In the same idea or concept with the apron, while it isn't mandatory, I will suggest it just to be on the safe side. It may also be good to employ eye protection. That doesn't mean you have to walk around looking like Steve Urkel, but just in that 1% scenario, the juice darts for your retinas, hey, it's happened and it will happen again. I can personally guarantee you that. Okay, so that's the safety portion. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. Pun intended. VG, this is also known as vegetable glycerin. Typically, the average mixer will use 30% PG to 70% VG as their base. Now, VG adds extra vapor to the e-liquid, but when used exclusively or in higher concentrations, it tends to diminish or weaken the flavor of e-liquid. This is where PG, or propylene glycol, enters the conversation. PG is considered a flavor carrier as it helps to bolster or strengthen flavor in a mix. So using PG is a necessity unless you're allergic to it. Also, I need to note 99% of flavor concentrates out there are PG based, although there's a lot that's VG based to cater to those who have PG sensitivities. Obviously, what would a mix be if it weren't for concentrates? Now this is going to vary case by case with what flavors you personally enjoy to vape. They can be found in all varieties of fruits, savories, desserts, tobaccos, and many more. You name it. They make concentrates for all kinds of flavors. Strength of concentration varies by brand as well as pricing. If you have any questions about a particular concentrate, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll be sure to help you out as best I can. Much like concentrates, Nicotine concentrates vary by strength, pricing, and size. All nicotine is not created equal. If you need a good suggestion, I have two. Though these two are a bit on the pricier side, I can recommend Vaportech.com and Carolina Extracts. They've proven to be some of the cleanest and smoothest variety. I'll include those links in the description below as well. If you want a good budget nicotine, I'll have that below in the description as well. Now finally, all you need to do is figure out your mixing method. Some prefer syringes over a scale. Online, the scale argument kind of wins the battle, and I have to agree with it. This was my case for a long while. I used syringes, but I would suggest picking up a scale, especially since you'll be mixing smaller quantities. Amazon is a great source for finding deals on this sort of equipment. Just be sure the scale weighs down to a 0.01 resolution, and you'll be good to go. Now bottles. Bottles are extremely important as well. Some people prefer plastic, some prefer glass. The benefits to the two are that plastic is obviously cheaper, but there's a trade-off with that cheaper price tag, and that's that certain concentrates in e-liquid leaches, or rather degrades, the plastic over time, so that's ultimately resulting in shortened shelf life for your mixes. If that's important for you, you can go glass. Glass, on the other hand, does steep very well, and it doesn't degrade, but it comes with a heavier price tag, so you'll have to consider which is the better option for you personally. Just starting out though, I'll recommend going with plastic dropper bottles. A good variety would include 3 to 10 ml bottles for test batches and 30 to 50 ml bottles for finished products or finished recipes. Things that you want to hang on to or things that need to steep for a few months. Unfortunately, there are concentrates out there that require a heavy steep. All right, storage. Now this is a widely discussed topic, but my personal take on it is we use concentrates considered to be food flavoring. As such, it's a pretty smart idea to store it as food concentrates, meaning refrigeration is going to be ideal, but at the least, you should be storing flavor concentrates in a cold and dark place. I'm sure you've already heard that. You're probably doing that with juices that are from manufacturers, so it's probably not news to you. But nicotine, on the other hand, is a different story. To keep it completely out of reach of children or pets, which I implore you to hold in the utmost respect, it should be stored in a freezer, whether that be a normal freezer on the top shelf or a deep freezer. Don't worry about it freezing on you. It will not freeze. I personally keep mine in a deep freezer so that my children and pets can't get to it. Now, as for your mixing equipment, a tool chest or a tackle box, I've seen people use all kinds of stuff. Something similar is highly suggested. I've kept my mixing equipment in a hutch with a lock on it for a number of years now, and it served me very well. Last but certainly not least, unless you're just great with mathematics and are a genius, you're going to need an e-liquid calculator. This will be your tool in calculating percentages or measurements in your mixes. The ones that I can recommend, without going too deep into all of it because there are a lot of them, I'll leave those in the description box below so you can go and check out. And that's basically it. I know it may appear daunting to think about all the things you need to pick up or study or read or be careful with. And I'm not going to be the one that sits here and lies to you. Mixing is not for everyone. Some people don't have the attention span, the free time to devote to it, or let's just be honest here, the common sense. But if you're looking to take your vape game to the next level, save money, and have fun creating your own liquids, this is going to be the way to do it. With that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please drop them below. Be sure to subscribe and smack a thumbs up on the video. I look forward to seeing you all in the mixing community. Make sure to check out the description below. As I've mentioned probably 50 times in this video, the links for our Discord and DIY Underground Facebook group will be there. Make sure to check out those links, and I look forward to seeing all of you, speaking with you directly, and getting to know all of you. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, guys. Cloud salute.